What if the thing making you unhappy isn't your job, your relationship, or your bank account? What if it's a handful of tiny habits you've never even noticed? Somewhere between waking up and scrolling your phone, most people quietly train their brain to feel worse. But it can be trained the other way, too. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn 7 small shifts that can boost your happiness starting today, backed by real science, not wishful thinking. Stick around for number 5. It sounds too simple to work, but it might be the most powerful one on this list. Here's the strange part. Most people chase happiness in exactly the wrong direction. They think, get the promotion, then I'll be happy. Get the relationship, then I'll be happy. Get the bigger house, then I'll be happy. But have you ever noticed how that feeling never actually lasts? A major study tracked lottery winners for years after their big win. Within about a year, their happiness levels drifted right back to where they started before they won. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. You run and run, but the scenery never changes. So if outside circumstances don't create lasting happiness, what does? It turns out happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you build, one small habit at a time. Let's start with the first one. Your brain has something called a negativity bias. It's built to notice threats, problems, and things that are wrong. That's how our ancestors survived. The downside? In modern life, that same wiring makes you fixate on the one bad email and forget the 10 good things that happened today. Gratitude flips that switch. In one well-known experiment, people who wrote down 3 good things that happened each day, every day, for a week, showed a measurable boost in happiness that lasted for months afterward. Months from just a few minutes of writing. Why does something so small work so well? Because gratitude forces your brain to go looking for the good. And whatever you consistently look for, your brain gets better at finding. It's less about the writing and more about the searching. Tonight, before bed, try naming 3 things that went right today. Not perfect things, just real ones. A good coffee, a funny text, a parking spot that opened up right when you needed it. Habit number 2. Here's something that sounds almost too simple to be true. 20 minutes of movement can shift your mood as much as some common approaches used for mild low mood. Why would walking do what your brain chemistry usually needs help to do? Because movement isn't just physical. When you exercise, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals, including endorphins and a compound that helps grow new brain cells tied to mood and memory. One study found that people who walked briskly just 3 times a week reported significantly higher life satisfaction within a matter of weeks. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need a 6-week program. You need a door and 10 minutes. The next time you feel stuck, foggy, or low, don't sit with it. Move through it. Habit number 3. Here's a question worth sitting with. When was the last time you had a real conversation? Not a text thread, not a group chat, an actual conversation. With someone who mattered to you? One of the longest-running studies on human happiness has followed the same group of people for over 80 years, and the single strongest predictor of happiness and even long-term health wasn't wealth, career success, or fame. It was the quality of close relationships, not the number of friends, not followers, not likes. The depth. Loneliness, on the other hand, has been shown to affect the body in ways comparable to smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Isolation isn't just sad. It's measurably unhealthy. So today, send the text, make the call. Ask the friend you've been meaning to check on how they're actually doing. And really listen to the answer. Habit number 4. Have you ever been so absorbed in something, a hobby, a project, a game, that you completely lost track of time? That state has a name, flow, and it's one of the most reliable paths to genuine happiness that exists. A psychologist who spent decades studying flow found that people report their highest levels of satisfaction not while relaxing on a couch, but while fully immersed in a challenging task that matched their skill level. Not too easy, not too hard, just right. So why does modern life pull us away from flow constantly? Because flow requires focus, and focus is the one thing your phone is specifically designed to interrupt. Every notification is a tiny flow killer. Pick one thing this week: cooking, drawing, an instrument, a sport, and give it 30 uninterrupted minutes. No phone, just the task. Notice how different that kind of tired feels. Habit number 5. This one sounds backwards, but stay with it. Spending money on someone else can make you happier than spending it on yourself. In one experiment, people were given a small amount of cash and told to spend it by the end of the day. Half were told to spend it on themselves, half on someone else. By evening, the group who spent it on others reported noticeably higher happiness. Why would giving something away make you feel like you gained something? Because generosity activates the same reward circuitry in your brain as receiving a gift yourself. Kindness, it turns out, is one of the few things that benefits the giver just as much as the receiver. You don't need money to do this. Compliment someone genuinely. Help a stranger carry something. Cover a coffee for the person behind you. Small, unexpected kindness creates a happiness ripple for both of you. Habit number 6. Two people can go through the exact same hard day and come out with completely different moods. What separates them? Often it's not the event. It's the story they tell themselves about the event. A study on mindset found that people who viewed a stressful situation as a challenge to rise to, rather than a threat to survive, showed lower stress hormone responses and recovered emotionally much faster. Same event, different lens, different outcome. So the next time something goes wrong, try asking yourself one question. What is this actually teaching me? Not to force fake positivity, just to loosen the grip of the worst-case story your brain defaults to. Happiness isn't the absence of hard days. It's how quickly you can find your footing again. Habit number 7. Here's one people constantly underestimate. Sleep isn't just recovery time. It's emotional maintenance. After just one night of poor sleep, the brain's emotional threat center becomes significantly more reactive, while the part of your brain responsible for calm, rational thinking becomes less connected to it. In plain terms, tired brains overreact. Everything feels like a bigger deal than it is. Have you noticed how much smaller your problems feel after a genuinely good night's sleep? That's not a coincidence. That's biology. Protecting 7 to 9 hours of sleep isn't lazy. It's one of the most effective happiness habits available to you, and it's completely free. Let's bring it together. 7 small habits, backed by real science. Write down what you're grateful for. Move your body. Invest in real connection. Chase flow, not just relaxation. Give something away. Reframe the hard moments. Protect your sleep. None of these require money. None of them require a life overhaul. They just require repetition. Because happiness, it turns out, isn't a destination you arrive at. Maybe the mistake was always waiting for happiness to arrive, like a package on your doorstep, delivered once life finally gets good enough. But happiness was never a delivery. It was always a practice, a quiet, daily decision to notice, to connect, to move, to give. Not a finish line, a direction you choose to walk in, one ordinary day at a time. If even one of these habits felt like something worth trying, do it today.